If you don't know how to do your makeup, keep watching because this is Makeup 101 where I teach you how to do your makeup step by step. Today we're doing a full in-depth tutorial, so sit down, grab your pen and paper, grab a drink, and let's get into it. Step 1, we have our skin prep. This is and always will be the most important step. If your skin is not prepped properly, you are not going to have the same makeup application as you would if you lather on that skin prep. I like to make sure that my skin is nice and hydrated, dewy, and as moisturized as possible. So I'm taking the Rhode Glazing Milk. This product is the most beautiful base for makeup. While that soaks in, I personally move on to eyebrows. This is because I like to do my eyebrows on a clean face. I find that when I do my eyebrows first before doing the rest of my face, I get a cleaner application and I don't get like product buildup all over my eyebrows. For my eyebrows, I typically just like to brush them up with a brow gel. If you like to fill in your eyebrows, you can do that too. It really just depends on your eyebrow shape and what you're looking for. Now, once you have your first layer of skin prep on, we're gonna move on to moisturizer and give us the base for even smoother makeup. You can use whatever moisturizer you like. I'm using the Rhode Barrier Restore Cream, making sure that's nice and absorbed. And now we're gonna go in with primer. You can use a more glowy primer if that's what you're into. You can use a more mattifying primer like this one if that's what you're into. I like glowy, so I'm gonna use the Rare Beauty primer. I love the glow that this product gives. Massage that into the skin. As you can see, up until now, we have used our fingers for pretty much everything. Look at how glowy my face is right now. That is just how we like it. Quick little tip, make sure that you are letting every single product soak into the skin before you move on to the next step. If you mix things too early, you might have some pilling or just products separating on your face. Now is the time that I go in with my foundation or my skin tint. Today I'm going to be using a skin tint. If you want more full coverage, use a foundation. I'm using the Hourglass skin tint, and I'm going to start with this much product at first and just spread this around my entire face. If you need more, you can always add more, but it's best to start with less, just to make sure that everything is easy to control. Now I'm using my Haus Labs foundation brush and I'm just tapping the product in, okay? You want to make sure that you are tapping the brush and not sweeping it and dragging it all over your face, because then you're just going to drag the makeup. This is also going to prevent any streaks from the brush. And once that's complete, now we're going to move on to contour. For this step, remember, we are contouring, not bronzing. So you want to choose a very cool toned shade that's going to mimic like the shadows. And instead of applying this higher on the cheekbones, you're going to want to apply it underneath the cheekbone where you see the shadows. So I'm basically following that line. I'm going to add a little bit on my forehead and a little bit on my nose, slightly under the chin. And I'm also going to take this and drag this up to my temples just to help lift the face. And now we're going to tap the product, keeping it exactly where we placed it. Now we have that little defined shadow. Tapping near the eye where we place that contour to lift. And just for reference, this was Westman Atelier Biscuit. Now we're also going to take our cream bronzer so I can show you guys the difference. So now I'm going to take the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Bronzer, which is a more warm tone shade. And now this product, we are going to focus higher on our cheekbones, pretty much almost directly on your cheekbone, because this is going to add warmth and you would naturally get a tan on the higher points of your face. And then I do like to apply this product on my forehead as well, a little bit underneath the jawline. With this, I am very careful because you do not want unblended makeup. Now that we have a nice bronze going on, let's go in with some cream blush. I'm taking this Milani cream blush, this little fluffy brush, keeping it pretty high up because I want the blush to lift my face. I like to start around here on my face and then just tap upwards. Same with this side, we are tapping and moving upwards. It's time for concealer. I like to use concealer kind of like a magic eraser to just clean everything up, which is why I do it after my bronzer and my blush. Now for the concealer placement, I'm going to basically bring a little bit of product underneath my eye, but not too close to my eye. You want to keep it around here, and then when you blend, you bring it upwards. And then I do a tiny dot on the outer of my eye. I like to cover up a little bit of redness around my nose. And then I take a little bit of product and draw a line like that to drag it, and a little on the chin. And now we tap the product in. For this concealer, I like to tap it upwards, cleaning up the contour. Now for the concealer, we tap the product, moving closer underneath the eye. The outer corner of the eye, we drag the product up as well. Now notice how that made the blush look 10 times more seamless. Now we're gonna set the face using my absolute favorite Makeup by Mario setting powder. We are not going to be baking, we are just going to be setting the face. So I'm taking some powder on a powder puff, tapping off the excess, just tapping the product in like this. And I like to set my T-zone area, basically the places where you get oily throughout the day. Of course, we're setting the forehead, and I'm gonna go ahead and take some of that powder and tap it underneath the contour line just to chisel even more and just sharpen it. After a minute or so, I like to take a little brush and just tap all of the product in and dust off any excess. Moving on to powder bronzer. If you want your makeup to last, you have to layer your cream products with powder products. Using the Hourglass bronzer, and on a fluffy brush, I'm just going to tap this in on top of where we did the cream bronzer, so keeping it higher on the cheekbones. Doing the same to the forehead, and then I'm taking the brush with a light hand and just swirling this underneath my jaw. And it's time for some powder blush. I'm taking Patrick Tashi's Seductive and this fluffy little blush brush from Morphe, tapping some product, tapping off the excess, taking a light hand and just dusting this on right on top of the cream blush. Dusting the blush on and then just slowly adding more if we need more. Now it's time for a little bit of highlighter. I like to take this on the highest points of my face, so right over here, using Fenty Beauty Too Much. And I just like to tap this right on the highest point of my cheekbone and a little bit on the tip of the nose. Now, if you're someone who doesn't love eyeshadow like me, I'm not a huge fan of doing eyeshadow all the time. A great way to add some definition to your eyes is to take the same powder bronzer that you used on a fluffy eyeshadow brush and just using this all over your eyelid and crease and blend in circular motions. Now, before I move on to anything else, I'm gonna melt the powders with the creams on my face using a setting spray. This one is from Makeup by Mario. This is gonna help melt all of the powders into your skin so that your skin looks like skin again, and it's gonna reduce any cakeiness that you might have going on. Moving on, we're gonna curl the lashes. Now for mascara, pretty self-explanatory. I don't always love using mascara. Sometimes a little curl is enough for me. And now it's officially time for lip liner, which is my favorite part. I'm taking the Makeup by Mario in the shade Almond. And for this step, you can just follow your natural lip line, or if you like to overline, which I do, I like to overline slightly in the center of the lip, right underneath, and then for the rest of the lip, I follow the natural lip line. And then the same exact thing goes for the top. I follow the natural lip line, and then I overline by the Cupid's bow, just like that. And that's gonna help you get a little bit of a more powdier look without looking too overlined. Now I just like to diffuse it a little bit. Last but not least, topping it off with a little gloss if you like. And there you go. I know this is a super simple makeup look, but I wanted to show you guys step by step. Just go into detail in one video for those of you who might still be learning. Also, a little reminder that makeup is supposed to be fun and there are no rules to it, so do whatever makes you feel good. If you've been doing something differently than I mentioned in this video and it's working for you, keep doing that because there are no rules. Anyway, I hope this was helpful for some of you, and let me know what you guys think.